Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So I gave it a lot of thought and I decided that I'm going to move on from the Galaxy Note 7. When I posted the video asking you guys how your battery life was, I just wanted to check in and see if other people were having the same experience that I was having. And in fact, there are several people that are having the same experience. A lot of people said, Jay, just exchange it, return it. Well, I actually did that, and the results were the same. So I didn't post any other videos on the Note 7, not because I was upset about my experience, I just felt like it's time to move on to something else. The Note 7 has a very large battery in there, and it has quad HD display, has all these things going on with the phone, but that still is not acceptable battery life of only 12 hours off the charger. Over time, the Note 7 probably will get better once Samsung can get past. Now, everybody's not having battery woes and everybody's not having problems, but I'm one of the people that I am having problems. So the thing is, it's time to move on. And I still have other phones that are quad HD displays that have pretty much the same specs as the Note 7, and they perform well. They last several days with heavy use, and or at least a day and a half with with heavy use. And probably 2 days or more with moderate to light use. So there obviously is something wrong with some of the phones of the Note 7 series, and I think it's going to be very difficult for Samsung to recover from this. A lot of people are sticking with their Note 7. They're saying, hey, I'll take that 5 hours screen on time, I'll take that 4 hours screen on time, and that's perfectly fine. I respect that. Me, myself, if I have other phones that perform better, that are spec the same, there's something wrong with the Galaxy Note. And I've owned every Note, and the first Note that I had, it had battery problems. The second and third Note that I had, that I didn't really talk about on camera because I don't want to come across as I'm just bashing Samsung or making videos to bash Samsung, because that's not the case. I'm pro Samsung. I really thought about just jumping back down to the Galaxy Note 5 because I sold the other Galaxy Note 5 that I should have kept, and I regret it, to be honest. Only thing I got with this one was a different body, pretty much. I wasn't a fan of the curved screen to begin with, and but I wanted the device, and I thought it was a very sleek and sexy device. I ended up taking a color that I didn't initially want, but it grew on me, and I really like the coral blue. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to return the Note 7 and never come back to it. I'm going to revisit it because the Note 7 will go on sale just like every other device. Now, granted, the Note 5 is still selling very well, and people are actually gravitating towards that and other phones because of this battery thing that's going on with the Note 7. It is a problem. We cannot ignore it. People who say there's nothing wrong with their Note 7, fantastic. I'm happy that you're not having any problems with it. But don't tell people who are having problems that their expectations are too high, or they're just crying about it, or those comments right there don't make any sense. Videos like this, discussion videos, is to interact with you, the people who are having problems and the people who are not having problems. I know how to do all the battery saving tips. Everyone's been giving me battery saving tips, and I appreciate that. But in the time that I was associating with a group called the Samsung Knights, Richard, the leader of the Samsung Knights, don't have any problems with them. Great guy. He showed me a lot of battery saving tips about Samsung devices, specifically about Samsung devices that I actually use in other devices, and it works great. So shout out to Richard for all those tips. But the fact is, I applied those tips and I applied the Samsung package disabler, and it just was not good battery. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just getting another Galaxy Note 5, because I do like to have a Samsung product in my line, and I'll probably grab another Galaxy Note 5. That is about where I'm at with Samsung, because sometimes you sell a phone thinking that the other one's going to be better, and it turns out to be a disaster. And very seldom does that happen to me, but that is what happened with this particular device. The Note 7 is a fantastic device. I've already reviewed it. I just got another one because I wanted to have it back in my catalog, and I wanted to, put it with the rest of the devices that I have. But the problem is, I'm not going to settle for mediocre battery life on a device when several other people are saying that they're getting fantastic battery life. Now, shout out to Techzilla. He's in the UK, and he has the Exynos version, so he has the privilege of getting efficiency and fantastic battery life out of his. But he has the Exynos version, so there's a difference. It's just a proven fact that Exynos versions of the processor in Samsung phones is way more efficient than the Snapdragon version. Now, that's not to say that it's just, oh, it just kills it, it's so much better. It's just that it's more power efficient. And thus you can do more with it, you get fantastic battery life. It's just one of those things. It happens. But, you know, I have to make a choice, or I had to make a choice, and I have to make a choice. Either I'm going to stick with the phone that is just not up to par, and have phones laying around that are the same specs that run worlds better, or do I settle, keep the device, and deal with problems? And a lot of people in the other videos say, Jay, just get rid of it. There is a little bit of bashing towards Samsung, which I'm not going to do that. All I can say is that some people dislike Samsung, some people like Samsung. I've always liked Samsung. I've always supported Samsung and stock with Samsung. So I do a bunch of stuff and with Samsung, and I appreciate the company. However, if you put out a product and it's not performing to my standards, I'm not going to keep it. It just makes sense, And some people in the other comments of the other video said, "Hey Jay, you paid $850 plus tax for this phone. You should be getting your money's worth. If you feel like you're not, get rid of it." And there are some people that just muttered off a bunch of nonsense about I hate it. That's not what it's about. It's about a customer base settling when you're used to a certain caliber of product. The Note 4 is said to be one of the best Notes. I think it is one of the best. The Note 5 is fantastic. I do regret getting rid of the Note 5. There's no doubt about it. I regret it. I picked up waterproofing. I picked up an SD card. Certain things that I just don't have to have. I can get a 64 gig, or I'm fine, or 32. It doesn't matter. Just having the phone itself is enough. I've learned that I can use my cloud storage, and then I can free up. Still have, like on my iPhone 7. This is a 32 gig on the big one, and the big one is the one that I use primarily. The small one over there is 256, and that's just if I need a whole bunch of memory, I'll go use that one. But the 32 gigs of this, I have 18 gigs left, so which means about 25 or 26 was available. So I've used about 8 gigs so far of the actual memory that's available. So a 32 gig Galaxy Note 5 would do me just fine at this point. Just being able to use the S Pen and use it alongside of my BlackBerry Passport for work purposes, or just not my Note 5 just wouldn't be something I just use for work. I actually like the phone itself. But, it's kind of disappointing to go back and forth. Now, in another video I said, hey, they said that once the color comes in, I can exchange it. Well, that stands true. But what I decided to do, I had to make a decision to just return it, because I don't want to keep going back and forth doing exchanges. I went there for an exchange initially. Then I said, let's just take this back all the way around. And, I wasn't charged any kind of restocking fee. Even though they're back to their normal, the guy was saying, we're back to our normal procedures. These are the replacements, and these are guaranteed to work. Well, let's go on the record and say something here. Most store reps are clueless. They have no clue what they're talking about. They bash customer service, and which is just a horrible thing to do. If you're working for a company, just because you don't know the person that's on that 800 number, you should never talk trash about your employees. If you're all under the same umbrella, you should work together as a team. So it's a real turnoff when I go into a store to work out a problem, and I say, hey, I spoke to customer care. Nobody knows everything, but it is a fact that customer service reps in the store work on commission, and most of them, that's all they care about. So if you're not activating 5 lines and you're bringing a note back, or you're bringing an iPhone back, or just whatever, they don't want to deal with you. That's just how it is. And the store reps, you have all done this. I know you've all walked into Best Buy, walked into AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, Cricket, wherever you walked into, and you start talking to them about a device, and they're like, oh, I didn't even know I could do that. That lets you know that they're just there for a job. They're only going to focus on what they're told to sell. They have a sheet that they're going to go off of that say, hey, you get more commission off of this, push this, you need to sell 2 accessories. That is how it goes. And so store reps are not very knowledgeable. There are very few store reps that I know are knowledgeable about technology as itself. They look on YouTube just like everybody else does. So I don't so much really knock the store reps, but they're just there for commission as far as I see it. And when you go back in to exchange, or they start telling you, well, let me show you some battery tips. I had a guy tell me that, and I was just thinking, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. I was like, he has no idea what he's talking about. That's not a battery tip. Turning your brightness to 0, how can you enjoy your phone? Turning your sync off, how can you enjoy your phone? At night, yeah, you could do that. If you just want to keep it in standby to save all the battery you can, because I don't charge my phones on the charger every night. Where it's at, it is at. If it dies, I just plug it up when it's getting ready to die. Some people plug up overnight. And I'm not one of those people. I plug up when I need to plug up. But, this store up is telling me, I can give you some battery tips. This is what you need to do. I was thinking, God, dude, this is not a battery tip. You're just telling me to turn off features. That's it. That's not a battery tip. So, yeah, the Note has to go. Until further notice, I might just pick up another Galaxy Note 5. I really dreaded getting rid of that. And it was unfortunate, but what can I do, man? It's just one of those things. So, I have other devices that far exceed the Note in a lot of areas. But, there are always going to be those people out there that say the Note is the best phone on the planet. That's just what they're going to say. People are passionate about iPhones like that. People are passionate about Motorola like that. People are passionate about one brand because it's done them right or they really enjoy it. So then they make it a point to just say every other brand is garbage, which is just ludicrous. All phones have flaws. All phones have a downside. They all do. That's just one of those things. So you're going to have to get used to it. The Note 7 is not the kill-all device. And if you're still saying that, no disrespect, but you're a little naive. The Note 7, you're just convinced that you have the best device, and I could appreciate that. But my experiences and several other people's experiences are not giving the Note a 10. And I don't follow very many reviews, but a lot of phones are not getting a 10. They're just not giving the Note a 10. It turns out to be a really bad experience, and then some people can't get past, the battery life thing. I actually got 3 of them, and I'm not gonna make a video every time I buy a Note, because I don't want it to come across as though I'm just trying to make videos to trash Samsung. But the fact of the matter is, there's some problems going on with the Note 7, and if you say otherwise and you're not having any problems with yours, fantastic. But I had a lot of problems with all the Notes that I've had, and the Note 7s that I've had. And, it's just one of those things where it's just not worth holding on to. So, and people can say what they want to say about ZTE, Motorola, and other OEMs, LG and Apple. But most of those OEMs, my iPhones have great standby time. My Motorola's fantastic battery right now. The Moto Z Play, top of the line battery. Nobody's touching it. And people bring up specs. Somebody say, well, Jay, somebody asked me, why you got to bring up price? Price is important. It seems like when I make a video for discussion, all the experts come out. Like, especially if I say I have a problem. All the experts come out. And then when I click on their channel, they're not even a tech reviewer. And I watch, and I've done this before. I've dug through somebody who was disrespectful on the channel and told me I didn't know what I was talking about. Dug all through this person's channel. I didn't find out one thing about him. Found him on Twitter. Found him on Instagram. Found him in all those social media. And, they don't display any kind. Now, this is not to say that they don't know what they're not very knowledgeable about technology, but what I'm saying is they just cut and paste from the internet. Here's what so and so said, so it has to be true. Pocket Now said that this is what this other YouTube reviewer said. That does not make it the the right answer. There's no other way to put it. Anybody can cut and paste. Anybody can go read an article. But to the people that say, just stop whining about it, those are the people that don't have the phone. And they don't have all these devices that I have, and they're not experienced in the same experience. And, respect to them, yeah. But don't just come to videos and just say Samsung's garbage. Because Samsung is not garbage. Apple's trash. I hate Apple. Hey, what experience do you have? Do you currently own a MacBook? Well, what happened? Well, I had an iPhone 4. Hold on a second. You had an iPhone 4? And now you're talking about the iPhone 7 is bad? Come on, man. Those type of comments don't make any sense. None whatsoever. So, Samsung Note 7, I can appreciate the effort. gorgeous device, but I can't keep a device. Somebody also said that advice, Jay, don't pay for a device because it looks good. You're right. I can't pay for a device because it looks good. I need one that's going to perform. And the fact is, my Note 5 never let me down. I didn't have any problems. Now, I do wish that they would have stuck with a removable battery. Some people said that, shout out and kudos to LG. The V20 is going to be a good device probably, But the problem with that is I'm losing interest already because it's taking them so long to bring it to the carriers. This is what can really kill some devices. Haven't they caught on yet? When you announce the device, release it. Don't wait 2 months down the line because you leave the door open for all the other OEMs to come along and steal and rob all the attention. And that's what happens. The V20 is going to be a great device probably. Am I planning on picking it up? Yeah, I've already got cases and tempered glasses and everything. Several. However, if they don't come along too soon, I don't see myself buying the V20 at the end of this month, October 30th or something come on, that's too long. And it's not about being impatient, but you announced this device at the beginning of September. You still haven't released it yet. We're in October. Come on, get on with it. Release it. You post, and it's not just for LG. Several OEMs do this. They talk about a device over and over and over again. Commercials up. Where can I buy it? Oh, it doesn't go on sale until next month. What sense does that make? None whatsoever. So, the Note 7, while I enjoyed it, I can't keep going back to the store doing exchanges. I won't do it. Samsung pulled a fast one and only brought out blue ones and sent like one black one throughout the entire world on this so-called recall. And they just pumped out a bunch of blue ones. And that's it. No silver. They had a few silvers and a few blacks, but predominantly all blue everywhere. So why should I settle? Yeah, I like the blue, but I got a bunch of black cases everywhere. And some of them go with the blue, but a lot of them don't. And more importantly, the color is only this important. Performance was pretty decent on the Note 7. It's just that battery. I do not like to charge every day. I got a lot of phones sitting here, but the one that I want to compare against the Note 7, obviously it's going to be the iPhone 7, because this is who Apple's got their battle going with. But check this out. Look at this battery life. I still got 26% left. Look at that battery life. So if it's not showing up too good on camera, that's 33 hours and 27 minutes of standby, 8 hours and 10 minutes of usage so far. And I still have I got my glasses, 26% left. Now tell me that's not good battery life. Regardless of what you think about Apple, that's good battery life. And and that 26% will last me for the rest of the day. It really will. It'll last me the rest of the day. I kid you not. So, no more Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Hey, so what? No big deal. However, I need Samsung to get it together because I think I'm probably just going to lean. And I can get a Galaxy Note 5 brand new now, like on Swapper for like $500. And even T-Mobile's still selling them for $800. But I'm not gonna buy it for $800. I can get a brand new Galaxy S7 Edge for $550 on Swapper. And I'm bringing a Swapper because I trust Swapper. And I've sold on Swapper before. Shout out to Tony P. He kind of turned me on to Swapper a while back. I was like, I'm sick of eBay. So he's like, man, try Swapper. And Swapper turned out to be fantastic. I sold my S7 Edge on Swapper in like 5 minutes. It was less than 5 minutes probably. I hit it the fair price up there. Boom, it was gone. So you can hit Swapper. I don't trust Craigslist. eBay is kind of like at the bottom of the list too. Or you do it hand to hand. Or you just go to a store and get it straight from the store. Go to the source. I don't know. Nonetheless, the Note 5 is looking pretty good right now, and I can probably grab a white one too because that was my favorite color of them all. But we shall see, man. It's your man Jay Will. The Note 7 is no longer. I didn't get to recap and put it against the iPhone 7 at this moment, but I don't always have to be first. I'm patient enough to wait until the price goes down, or the price goes down and they give us a way to take care of this battery. A patch could fix it, somebody said. I don't know. But my experiences with the last Note that I had, it was the same thing. I had to charge twice a day, and that's not acceptable for me. I don't like plugging in twice a day. Some people say it's no problem. Some people say I plug up whenever I can. I don't plug up like that. I like to just use the phone because I'm travel a lot. I'm always on the highway, or I'm flying. I'm doing something. I don't have time to keep plugging in. Yeah, I have battery packs, but who wants to do that when you got the Moto Z Play? You got the iPhone 7. You got the Moto G4, you got the XR7, you got the old BlackBerry Passport, the classic. All those phones last over a day with heavy use. So, what do you guys think? Are you keeping your Note 7? Did you already get rid of it? How is your current Note 7? What did you do with it? I don't need battery saving tips. I'm open to it, but like I said, I can handle the battery saving tips. Some people were telling me about, you gotta let it go 5 days and drink. Listen, I already know all about battery saving tips, but I'm still open to suggestions. However, put in the comments something that I don't know already. Because if you've been following my channel and you scan back through my videos, you can see that I'm pretty aware of how to handle a battery, how to, you can follow me on Google+, Mr. J.L. Williams on Twitter and Instagram. It's just one of those things where put something there that can really help. Or just give your opinion. Hey, Jay, I got rid of mine, dude. I'm not going back to it. I switched to this phone. Fill in the blank. What'd you switch to? Jay, I kept mine, so it's working for me. I've seen a lot of those. I will say this. A lot of people are reporting great battery on their replacement. So that's good. I'm happy for them. I wish I was one of those people. But nonetheless, we'll cut here, and I want to talk to you guys. In the comments, I want to see what you guys think. No fighting and arguing in the comments if you can avoid it. Some people immediately start fighting and arguing in the comments. I don't understand that. But what do you guys think, man? Get the Note 7 at a later date. Just don't mess with it anymore. Move on to the V20. What do you think? It's your man Jay Will. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.